Welcome to Takshashila Gurukul channel. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe immediately, press the bell button and write your comments and feedback. Share with your friends as much as possible. We provide online Kundalini Raja Yoga initiation and Kundali activation in 6 months.
43. Avadhuta Charitra Yoga Maheshwara is very great. Note, Avadhuta, who recited the true liberation of the yogi, addressed Guha. Guha bowed his head and folded his hands and said, O Supreme Lord, the all-pervading, the Supreme Lord, please have mercy on me and tell me about Avadhuta's history and the abode of the Transcendent. What are his actions, words and glory? How is he beyond the limits of the body? Please have mercy. Maheshwara said, my dear, Avadhuta's state is far from the mind of the Brahmanas. He is a Vashvan of the Nijanigip. The perfect Brahman, the Supreme Swan, the Supreme Lord, the one who is not dual, the one who is beyond external appearances, the one who is not dual, the one who is beyond action. He is the one who is not dual. This is the path of knowledge, infinitely superior to the path of the butterfly, which is karma. There is no fixed line or sect for this path of the Paramahansa Avadhuta. The reason for this is self-knowledge. Whether one is a celibate or a householder, after the sanskars of the previous ashram are worn out, the final ashram, charama, is established by the knowledge of Brahman. What is ashram for an Avadhuta? Ashram is just a word for one who is the self, the object of the moment. He is homeless, the blissful eternal bliss. He is the highest ashram without ashram. A person in any ashram is born with the fruit of his infinite merits of his previous births. He abandons the desire to satisfy his father's wife, and, endowed with the 4 instruments of wisdom, engages in the service of the Guru. Having received the Guru's teachings within, having forgotten all external things by his grace, he has attained the Yamadi Ashtanga Yoga, has abandoned silence, and is in the 4th of the 7 realms of knowledge, the indestructible realm. Son, I have told you so far the various rites of yoga, the steps of worship, natural samadhi, the goal of Raja Yoga, and the determinations of Sahajananda. I have also told you about certain knowledge, the meditation of the mind, the characteristic of the true Guru, and the attainment of the unattainable. As I have told you, one who adopts these sadhanas, becomes an Avadhuta and disappears into Sahajananda. 15. The state of an Avadhuta forgets the time of day, the days and nights, and shines with his own radiance. While the light that feels like the sun shines brightly in the depths of his heart, he disappears into himself and remains cold. He has no sense of the clothes on his body. Even if his bare body is exposed to cold, rain, and wind, he is not aware of it. The memory of the house, the caste, has flashed. He goes to any house for alms. Different clans and tribes have become absorbed in his equanimity. The earth has become his bed, the sky has become his covering. It has become tedious to carry a bowl for alms. He eats alms from the hand bowl itself. When there is no water to wash his hands, he wipes the leftover water on his body. Instead of drinking water, he drinks water from lakes and streams. Alas! To those who see him, the supremely blissful yogi, the Avadhuta, is like a madman. He has no restrictions of fate. Because his image is always reveling in the equanimous Brahman. His intellect has crossed the boundaries of knowledge, and the omniscient Avadhuta has no defects of qualities. 20. 6 states of a demented person. Like a child, a madman, a ghost, a blind man, a mute, a deaf man, he wanders in 6 states. He has no pride, no self-conceit. He becomes his own self. There is no good or bad. He has no sins or virtues, no knowledge or ignorance. He is oblivious to harm or good, like a child. When he walks in his childhood, he does not look down on the road, does not stare at his opponent, and does not walk down to anyone. By the power of knowledge, he is in a state of stupor. He does not know who is coming on the path of the ravine of abnegation. He walks with his feet planted like a lotus. When a yogi is in this state, it is called a demented state. The body is on one side, his goal is on the other, he cannot raise his hands. His body is covered with dust, his feet are covered with dirt. The body is lying as if it was someone else's. He is in a state of fear that makes those who see him afraid. This is known as the ghost state of the Vara yogi. His courage is rooted in his inner being. He is in a state of ecstasy. He is immersed in true happiness without taking on any form. He is supremely self-sufficient in his true devotion. He is blind to the external creation with his eyes. This is the dark state that exists in everyday life. Just as a sun illuminates the entire earth, only a self-sufficient person illuminates the inert universe with the light of knowledge. But he does not speak to anyone. This is the silent state of the liberated. The sound of Om from the mouth falls into his ears and gurgles. So for the yogi who is immersed in that sound of love, external sounds do not suit him, they do not reach his ears and are meaningless. The inability to hear such worldly sounds is the deafness. 27. It is just a word to say that Avadhuta is in such and such states. In reality, his state is beyond the mind. He has no association with anyone. It is a sin for one to name him without experiencing his real state. O child, it is impossible for me, the Lord of Yogis, to know the glory of Avadhuta, the yogi. It is not enough to tell Surendra and Nagashaya about his state. Even the Vedas are silent and cannot tell the story of Avadhuta. The gods of Brahma and Rudra bow down to him so that the dust of his pure lotus feet may fall on their heads. O brothers, they follow him with devotion so that they may realize his form. The Avara who is Aruda, to whom should he pay homage to become Brahma himself? Who should he worship? Is that deity his own? Does that mantra recite? The feeling that he is the image of the mantra and is worshipped, he has no doubts of bondage. He is like a vermilion of wine. He has abandoned the desire for this and the other. He is transfixed, not thinking of a place, but wandering in complete samadhi, not looking at the clothes path. Like an elephant without a rein, which breaks the bonds it has tied, throws down its mammoth, tramples on its guards and runs away, the Avara who has cast off the various attachments of the senses, forgets the harsh feeling of fate, and is completely content. In a house or a forest, on the banks of a river, in a forest, in a field, in a cave on a mountain, under a tree or in the Himalayas, the ghost wanders in a trance. 34. The state of trance, seeing the ghost wandering in this way, people with childish intelligence will say, "What is this? A madman, a demon. Who is he?" They will chase him and chase him. He is naked, he is the image of the complete Brahman himself. The little children will say, "Hey, stop, open your eyes, speak, what is your caste? Did your mother-in-law give you a medicine that makes your head rise? Why do you remain silent without answering?" They will torment him saying, "Hey, stop, open your eyes, speak, what is your caste? Did your mother-in-law give you a medicine that makes your head rise? Why do you remain silent without answering?" So that he does not listen to them, they will tie his hands and beat him hard with sticks. They will sprinkle mud on his body, and they will rub it on his back and whisper it in his ear. Even so, that sage will remain in great silence. Illustration: if flies sting Madane, or if a snake stings or bites him, what will Gajake and Giri do? My dear, even if Madane and Meru are afraid, they may be afraid. But a yogi equal to the Trine never fears, cries, and his mind is never restless. He who is stable in his soul, even if the fools around him clap their hands, put ashes on his nose, or throw mud on his head, whatever harm they do, that silent one, the one in meditation, will sit without opening his eyes. He is at peace in his mind that his fate has weakened him by giving him such a blessing. Even if evil spirits attack him, that Brahmanist yogi will not look away. What is that? He will witness what they have done as if it were a dream. Some pious souls will see him and say, "This man is in the state of marriage, the children of the scoundrels are tormenting him like this." They will catch those wicked people and punish them. They will wash his body with water, dress it, decorate it, make him sit on a throne, offer him garlands of incense sticks, and lamps, and worship him with mantras. They will place food in front of him. But the Avadhuta will not look away. He will not recognize the body that is worshipped in various ways as his own. He will sit quietly like a statue with his eyes closed. A Sadhagarava appeared in the middle of that house. The devotees, seeing his state of samadhi, said, "Hara Hara," and put food in his mouth as if he were feeding an infant. This was the state of Sri Gurunatharudha in the Siddharudha monastery. They put a bowl of water to his mouth and made him drink water. If the sage in this state of Brahma is harmed by evil people and if the virtuous people nourish him, he will not feel any pain or joy, he will be the witness of both. Thus, he will be omniscient and omnipresent, and he will walk around in equanimity, saying, I reside in all. Some will call him a Brahman, some a Shudra, some will call him a Vaishya, a Panchala, a Rakshasa, a Jat, while others will say that he is a philosopher and that he is silent. The Avadhuta eats the bottom of a tree in the forest. He is hungry, and carries a dirty and dissolute consciousness. His tousled head is covered with a hood. If you see his condition and put on consciousness, he will not be able to bear it. If you throw away the consciousness that has been swallowed, he will not be able to take it back. Even if he is cut with a weapon, he is not conscious of his body, like a dead person, he is sound in the Supreme Brahman as if he is asleep, like Pujya Sri Gurudev Atmananda, Videha Cavalier 1983 Dharwad. How can anyone know the strength of the soul of one who is self-luminous? To the outsiders, he appears ordinary. Although he is full of consciousness, to the mortals, he appears unintelligible, shining. To the eyes, he appears terrifying, like a ghost. Because he moves his feet forward rapidly as if he has come to atone for his sins. The supremely virtuous Avadhuta is in the state of awakeness. Like a python, he lies on the ground, his body hidden in the mud and stones. He does not know what has happened to his body. He lies on the ground day and night in a state of yoga sleep, without worrying about food or water. Eratata Belaguriki remained in the Samadhi like a nightingale in the field for many years until 1902. Mahasamadhi 1922, these great ones will have forgotten the joy of their former abode. They will have stopped breathing and performed Kumbhaka in the Western Chakra and will remain in the Samadhi for a long time. Seeing such great ones, whose external defilements are hidden, their external defilements are hidden, their external defilements are empty, their internal defilements are empty, the common people will be unable to name. 51. O Kartike, listen to the story of the Avadhuta in The Nirvikalpa Samadhi. His cat is hidden in the sound of Om. His eyes are closed or, if they are open, the eyeballs, sutra, remain unmoving. No other form will be seen inside or outside as his own. In his heart, the great radiant soul, the sun, shines. The shadow of ignorance has perished and only the rays of the light of the mind emanate through his senses. Therefore, his image moves here and there, and he appears as a beautiful soul. He naturally enjoys the bliss of yoga. The doubting mind of, who am I? Where is the Supreme Soul? Has died in him. The heart gland has been cut. The sense of body has been destroyed. His body seems to him like a corpse or a ghost. He is the witness of the corpse. He himself is the carrier of the corpse. 53. When the yogi is immersed in the river of bliss, the passions of lust and anger, having tied up all the goods of their trade, sink into his yoga sleep and, having burned up in the yogi's body, they attain peace. The passions of the person in Samadhi are destroyed. The passions of the person in the sleep called Samadhi of ignorance are hidden without being destroyed. That is, the sleeper is engaged in his mental trade. He will put the goods on the bank of the river Jagra and immerse himself in the river Nidrananda for a moment and wake up. The kind-hearted people will take the ghost who is in the deep sleep called Samadhi to their home, bathe him and feed him. They will say to themselves, O Shiva, he is about to die. What a sin! I do not know why this foreigner has contracted this disease, and they will treat the yogi and put him to sleep. The ghost will lie down like a ghost. If the devotees bring him food out of compassion to feed him, he will eat in the same place where he slept. If he does not want to, he will fast for 2 or 3 days. He will ascend the throne of liberation, which is not different from himself, and will be crowned with the kingdom of true happiness. He will live in the kingdom of happiness by remaining in the sleep of yoga every day. He will wake up while sleeping. He will pass urine and feces while sleeping like an ignorant child. Many days have passed, he has forgotten the bath and the evening. The truth, which has not been left behind, is sleeping within himself. This is his Japatapam Leela. O son of a tree, who should know this? Once again, he goes from house to house as a beggar in silence. When he simply stands in front of the house with his hands outstretched, people who do not know his condition will push him away, saying, "Hey, go ahead, flower." Knowing people will refuse the alms. The abbot eats the food with his eyes closed. "This is bitter, this is sour, it is stale," he says. A snot comes out of his nose and dries there, saliva from his mouth falls on both cheeks. His eyelids are very swollen. He eats the alms while standing and wipes his hands on his body. Even if flies come and sit, he does not wash his mouth. He goes to the toilet and returns without washing his anus. 59. For the avaricious, the wealth of happiness is the wealth of the world. The wealth of the world is the source of sorrow for the wise, because too many possessions destroy peace. The accumulation of things is a sin. It is an obstacle to the practice of yoga. The avaricious is averse to the acquisition of things. Nature and the company of people are harmful, not happy. It makes the good people weep and tire. The avaricious, having abandoned the attachment to all things, says, "What is the use of talking with few people?" Knowing that silence is the way to get rid of the company of inanimate people, he remains alone. He says to those who are near him, "It is good to be away." He considers those who are far away to be Brahman. He goes far away so that people will come to him. He establishes the worship of the non-virtue in his mind. He is at ease for a day without worrying about anything. The 8 great siddhis stand before him with folded hands and wait. What is the command for us? Says the Avadhuta, who does not look at that siddhi. Knowing that these siddhis are my destiny, he is steadfast and witnesses the comings and goings of siddhis. Wherever he wishes, he remains radiant, carrying people. The worldly desires reside in the river called ash. In that river there are streams that quench thirst, a crocodile called passion and hatred, a pool of water called aversion, a whirlpool of water called delusion and delusion, a dam called accumulated karma, and on the banks there are tall trees of imagination called worry. The sages and sages are unable to cross the river called desire. However, the supremely detached Avadhuta crossed this river and said, "I have become free from all sins, and I am going on a pilgrimage." 65. How does Avadhuta exist in the world? Avadhuta is like a fire covered with smoke, like a jewel tied to a garment, like the sun covered with mist, like a mirror covered with dust, like a soul shining inside and outside in a cage of illusion, as an invisible luminary. It is impossible to know him. Know that the Avadhuta is like the sun to the world's antics, witnessing the activities of the body and senses. He is as unattached as the blowing wind. He is sheltered by all the elements like the earth. He is as radiant as fire in the practice of the yoga of the Karanas and as perfect as the sky. The unique state of the Avadhuta: some days he sleeps on the ground, some days he sleeps on a money mat, some days he sleeps in the palace of Shiva, Rudrabhumi. Once he becomes a Digambara. Another time he wears new clothes. Some days he sits in a comfortable position, some days he sits in the Bhadrasana and Gajasana. Some days he eats, some days he fasts. Some days he eats the sap of a plant and drinks water. Once he spends days in the joy of bathing. Again he spends his time in a state of filth. Why is it that a Brahman is not born to one who has not been born before? Where is the ashram dharma? Where is the sin of the unborn? The Avadhuta, the pure and blissful soul, has no Brahman, river, or Varna ashram dharma. Because the abode of the self is the ashram, the Avadhuta is free, knowing that he is not himself. 70. The wicked, without knowing the position of the Avadhuta, scold him, just as a dog barks at an elephant. How did the yogi, the perfect self, behave? Those who scold him without knowing his true loyalty, go to hell along with their clan. Illustration: a dog bites and carries away a slipper, a pig searches for a piece of hay, a woman. A jackal or a hyena tears up a bull. Similarly, even if the ignorant yogis agree to walk, they will find fault in their conduct. Such people will take the path of hell along with their clan. Poison is only in the sting of a scorpion, in the teeth of a snake, and in the head of a fly. But the poison is full of poison in the whole body of the wicked. I and the Avadhutas are right. What more do they gain? We gain Vedas memorization. Who can defeat us in the discourse of the scriptures? They are you. The Avadhuta, Arudha, is truly a piece of Brahma, say the jackals. Such fools who forget themselves and insult the truly wise will be crushed by the Yamabhatas, stones. What are the half-wise? Tell me, Listen, parables. How can a human being be ruined by a dry hum? Once a jackal fought a lion in a race to climb a mountain. The lion easily jumped over the mountain. The fox tried to climb the hill and fell down and died. The yogi is like a lion, and those who imitate him are like foxes. 2. A crow, wanting to imitate a swan swimming and flying in the sea, stopped it from going and jumped into the sea, falling headlong into the water. Those who want to imitate yogis will become as bad as crows. 3. Who, O son of man, has imitated the bravery of Maruti? Who has imitated the strength of a monkey? In the same way, sinners have imitated the yogi and have become victims of his wrath along with their descendants. 4. The imageless, devoid of devotion, boast, we too can become yogis by reading various books. If a donkey, seeing a horse, also begins to dance, who should watch it? 5. The fox, pretending to be a tiger, died. The fox thought to himself, everyone admires the tiger. They fear it. I too should become a tiger. People will think of me as a tiger because I have long stripes on my body like a tiger. One afternoon, the potter went to school. The potter was eating his meal inside the furnace, keeping the pot on the stove. The fox pulled the stripe from the red-hot pot. He fell down dead, gnashing his teeth. Know thus, my son, that a hypocritical monk who pretends to be a yogi will die of exhaustion like a jackal. Therefore, a yogi should know that the Supreme Brahman himself exists, worship him and follow his orders. Those who, without transgressing the orders of the Guru, bow their heads with their heads, attain liberation from the bonds of attachment, karma, and illusion. Say, without his orders, they do not exist. The Brahmavidvarishta says, if he stays at home, there is nothing, meaning that even if he stays at home, he has no household privileges. Whether he stays in the forest or in the monastery, there is no harm anywhere. Whether he sleeps or sits, there is nothing else. No matter how he walks, he is truly Brahma. He does not possess anyone and does not allow anyone to possess him, does not preach Brahma, does not speak the words of the doctrine. When he sees it, like a child among children and an adult among adults, he shows the moon to the eyes of the world. The Avadhuta does not teach with kindness like Ayaksha. The merciless Avadhuta never shows kindness. He remains silent, saying, the company of worldly people is a fear to us. The heart of that yogi is like a hard stone, it will not melt no matter how much one tries to melt it. Many will suffer in his service, but they will go away without receiving kindness. If he were pleased with the selfless service of a few virtuous beings and gave them advice, his own would take root and stand, and his own would be burnt and their sins would be extinguished. 84. The Avadhuta is sometimes like a tree, sometimes like a yogi, again like a bogi, sometimes a recluse, sometimes a traveler, and again like Brahma himself. He happily enjoys all the happiness and sorrows that come from his destiny. He is a witness to the body. He does not ask, what is anyone's well-being? He does not know what the well-being of his body is. The Supreme Being himself is eternally glorified. Whatever is presented to him, that is all he is. He sees others as himself. The body of a wise person is like burnt knowledge. The Avadhuta appears as if he were wearing all the states himself and instructing the wise seeker, as a teacher and disciple. Listen, O hero, as a result of performing virtuous actions, the Ayaksha receives instruction from the Avadhuta. The Avadhuta or the Arudha, the instructor, is always happy with peace and tranquility and is naturally joyful. Just as a disease needs medicine, the yogi, wherever he is, takes a little food for the suffering hunger and wanders around in joy without any other company. Having abandoned the feelings of being a Vipra, a Madiga, and having abandoned the feelings of being a Vipra, a Madiga, he wanders around as he pleases, basking in the bliss of the bath. At the end of time, just as the plains of the plains are gathered together in a great plain, or as a clothed man throws off his clothes and washes them, so the Avadhuta leaves the body and becomes the unbroken Brahman. 90. Another type of Avadhuta path. There are 10 types of castes among the Brahmins. Guha, the original caste of the Brahmins, is 10 types. Let me tell you their details: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Bidala, Kuruba, Kirita, Vaishya, Katuka, Chandala. Among these 10 types of Brahman castes, the Avadhuta begs for alms. Because he has no connection with the Varnas. 1. He who is endowed with the qualities of peace, tranquility, peace in the fruits of actions, and cessation of suffering, will be, as Brahman, in Samarasa the world itself, and he is the world. He performs the duties of Brahma with devotion, without turning away from them. He is a Brahman among Brahmins. 2. The characteristics of a Kshatriya among Brahmins. He performs the duties of Brahma, pays devotion to God and Brahmins, gives gifts to the righteous, and treats his subjects with justice and kindness. When the occasion arises, he fights in the battlefield and wins. 3. A Brahman Vashya. The Guru, he worships God, 2 cows, does not abandon his daily duties, tries to make profits in various enterprises. He bears the burden of the family. 4. A Brahman Shudra. The act of bathing and consecrating oneself in the evening is not familiar to him. He does not understand the meaning of mantras like Om Kesava, Narayana, Asau Adatyo Brahma. He cultivates with a plough on his shoulder. He sows and grows, and cuts the plant's stems. 5. Brahman Bidal. He gives the necessary documents for marriage, and marriage. He keeps a book in which house there are Mala, Mahal, Shraddha Tithi. He writes a false account saying, 4 for 1, and goes from house to collect food, grain. He does not eat in his own house but eats like a cat and eats exhaustedly. 6. Brahman Shepherd. He knows nothing, he does not listen to what others say. He does not bathe, he does not wash his left and right hands before eating. He has forgotten the evening salutation. He does not respect the teacher or elders, and when the festival season comes, he changes his clothes and attire. O caveman, this Brahman is a shepherd among Brahmins. 7. Brahman Kirat. He takes the clothes and the robes of the dead body. He holds a knife in his hand and joins the thieves in breaking into the house. Is he not allowed to take a bath in the evening? Why is he a ghost? 8. Brahman Whore. He has abandoned all the rituals of a Brahman. He proudly dresses up and straightens the clothes he has worn like a prostitute and sings words of disrespectful conduct in front of his parents. He is considered a prostitute among Brahmins. 9. Brahman Bacha. The scoundrel has abandoned his parents. He does both the act of stealing and the recitation of mantras. He commits sinful acts such as killing a Brahman. In business, he acts with cruelty like Yama. 10. Brahman Chandala. This Chandala looks after his stepmother, stepdaughter, mother-in-law, sister-in-law, daughter-in-law, priest's wife, Chandala woman, and farmer's wife. Okay, there are 10 types of Brahman caste. That is, there are 10 types of people in the Brahman caste. But the Avadhuta gives alms to everyone without counting their caste, varna, ashram, qualities and deeds. The unborn yogi does not look at the caste, qualities and defects of the body. What is the body, whether his own or that of another? He has no worries. The Brahman, the one who is free from stones, is truly happy, eternally liberated. Why does he take alms from his own caste? Why does he take alms from other castes? The Avadhuta, Arudha, that he knows, has no relation to caste religion. He has driven away others like himself, i.e., he drives away relatives of all castes from the ocean of existence. The feeling that he will take everyone to the temple of liberation. Because he is the one who is the unbroken Chinmayananda Amrit. 104. Benefits to the world from Avadhuta. The country where he lived is auspicious, the village where he lived is auspicious, all the countries where he visited are auspicious, the cemetery where he sat is auspicious, the house where he entered is auspicious. He is the true embodiment of the Supreme Soul. Those who saw Avadhuta, those who praised him, and those who were in his service were auspicious. Believe that Brahma, the all-powerful God, has appeared to wash away the sins of the world. Is it any wonder that by touching his feet, stones and trees are healed and people are liberated? When people drown in the Suranadi, Ganga, their sins are attached to Bhagirathi. The Avadhuta, Arudha, immerses his feet in the Suranadi and washes away her sins. By remembering Avadhuta, the pious souls can attain liberation. Those who remember him without knowing it will attain a good birth, and in the next birth, they will serve the devotees of Brahma and attain liberation. This is the Shruti Siddha. His place of residence is Kashi. All rivers are at his feet. His residence is the abode of the unmitigated. Where he is, know that the Supreme Lord is all the gods, and Sadashiva himself is Avadhuta. 109. Listen, O son of the cow, a person who practices the company and service of the Avadhutas will be reborn as a Dvija after spending 10 births. A Dvija will be reborn as a Vedati after studying the Veda for 100 births. Then a Vedati after spending 1,000 births becomes a Brahma Janani by inquiring with the Guru. But since the experience-giving enclosure, that is, the pride of knowing the oneness of the Brahma soul, remains in him, he will remain a devotee of Brahma for 100,000 births. Listen, O goddess, out of 7,000 men there is one mindful person, one pointed. Out of 1,000 such mindful people, there is one pious soul, out of 100 pious souls there is one refuge, and out of 100 refugers, there is one Brahma Janani, 111. Devas for seniority, humans for liberation. In terms of body, Devas are better than humans. Because the earth element is more in the human body and the radiance is more in the bodies of Devas. Son, the gods are good for seniority. But humans are worthy of liberation. Listen to this, the gods drink nectar, and death does not come to them quickly. Death comes to the human body suddenly. Humans can receive help in the face of death. That is, there is no difference between the process of death of the human body and the help of the Sharan, which is the attainment of good things. More explanation can be found in the 6th chapter of the Chandogya Upa. Therefore, there is no liberation from the body of the gods except from the human body. The gods with the fragrance of authority need decades to achieve liberation. In order for the gods to achieve liberation, they have to take on a human body in the world of death and come to the service of the Guru. Therefore, humans are better authorities for liberation than the gods. But, O Commander, do not think that all humans are better and do not think that all the gods are inferior. Only the most virtuous souls can attain true liberation through knowledge of Brahman and knowledge. Therefore, the true knowledge is better. The self-knower is the best of the gods. He is the beloved of the Supreme Brahman and the witness of all intellects and all worlds. Wherever he walks, the 3 worlds revolve around him. The 3 worlds are under his feet, 116. Saddati from the Sadguru, can a fool save another fool? But only a wise man can save a fool. Pi. A boat that carries people across a river can carry small stones. If people fall into the river instead of taking refuge in a boat, they will drown. Therefore, avoid the company of fools who are like stones and take refuge in the good gurus. A guru who has acquired knowledge and is on the wrong path can also lead his trusted devotees astray. How can a person who cannot cross the ocean of existence himself make his disciples cross? Therefore, knowing that good fortune comes from the good guru, the disciple should give up his mischief, abandon his deceit and seek the knowledge of the guru. If he is mischievous in his mischief, he is in harm's way. Only if the guru's teachings reach the mind, his ignorance will be destroyed and he will attain the good fortune of salvation. If the guru's teachings do not reach the mind, ego will grow and the disciple will be ruined. The truth is that if he does not practice as the Guru has told him, he cannot be liberated. The hope that he will gain the true knowledge of himself by reading is false. Similarly, there is no liberation from argument. Without daily practice, no one has ever achieved liberation through reading, writing, or writing. A strong mind with a sound mind and regular practice are the means to liberation. The availability of the soul is weak, Shruti. The strong man himself achieves yoga, and the mindful man, he too can achieve liberation through faith and regular practice. O Kartike, let me tell you an example about the prowess of the strong man and the healthy-minded mindful man. Between the two, Garuda and the ant, Garuda is stronger. Garuda can fly to the top of a mountain in a few minutes, this is true. But do not doubt that even an ant can climb a mountain with health and mindfulness and reach the peak today or tomorrow. A practitioner who is as strong as an eagle should not have the arrogance of saying, I am strong, I am a witness, I have the power of knowledge. Similarly, even if he is like an ant, there should be no cowardice in the practitioner, saying, I am young, I am helpless. Even a strong person should do the yoga practice with his heart. If there is no Chitrasthera, what kind of strength is that? Even a helpless person, if he practices slowly and steadily with Chitrasthera, as instructed by the Guru, will reach the Brahmapada. Without a strong mind, he cannot reach the goal with sheer determination. Similarly, there is no liberation by mere reading, by strength without memory of the image, and by understanding the written word. Liberation is possible with Chitrasvastra without discrimination. Without these systematic practices, the life-giving word cannot be attained, Kanda. So far I have told you the story of the path of liberation, the path of Avadhuta. This is the path of liberation, the abode or state of the pure Paramahamsa, the auspicious story of the path of Avadhuta. The state of Avadhuta cannot be attained by Hatha Yoga alone or by Raja Yoga alone, which is the path of the Vihangama. Hatha and Raja Yoga are both the powerful and powerful yoga systems. The state of Avadhuta attained by one through this is flawless and stable. Okay, so far I have told you the path of liberation, the path of liberation, the path of Avadhuta, but it is beyond words. I have told you the experience that occurred to my mind. With words of inert and demonic form, you yourself have been instructed about the inert and the unattainable, that is, about something unique to you. O son, it is not right to say or hear this is the fruit of the merit of the previous birth. The most pious who say and hear this will be liberated by the grace of the Supreme Being. This is the abode of auspiciousness. The pious ascetic who daily meditates on this will attain the true happiness of liberation. Believe this to be true. It is not right to say this to those who take the side of their wives and bow to their mothers as they see fit, to those who gather in groups and smoke ganja and bham, to fools who are intoxicated by intoxicants. Hara said this. Shanmukha, looking at the auspicious image of the Supreme Being without blinking his eyes, said, O treasure of mercy, you are the one who will advise me, O Guru. He shed tears of joy and thought of the Guru, the one who is full of joy and thought of the Guru in his mind.